Why hello chaps and chapettes, and welcome to another board games that everybody should ... It's a board game series where I show you how board games are played and then I review them. But I don't just do one review, I do two reviews. I do a technical review, what you're actually paying for in the box, the components, the rules, the mechanisms, the game, how it works, everything. And then I give you a personal review, which is my experiences of this game and experience of the players that also play this game. And so afterwards, when you put these three things together, how the game plays, the technical review and my personal review, you can then make up your own mind whether this is a game for you or not. In this video, I'm going to be looking at a game which delves into the darkest recesses of my hates in this world, the one thing that I hate doing the most, and that is decorating. Well, actually, it's worse than changing nappies. Dream Home players are going to be constructing the house of their dreams from the ground floor up. You'll be simply choosing and drafting cards from a central pool. Each card will consist of a room and a resource which you'll add to your house. And then at the end of the game, after 12 rounds, the player who has the most prettiest house and has met the functionalities of houses, and on top maybe some nice tiles, will win the game. So how does it play? Each player will take a home board and place it in front of themselves. They'll also take one of the handy dandy reference cards and place that next to it. These reference cards remind you of how to score extra points at the end of the game for getting a nice set complete roof and for also having good home functionality. In the middle of the table, you'll place the game board. This will house the cards which players will draft from. You'll take the deck of resource cards and shuffle these and then add them to the left hand side here. And then draw the top 4 cards and place them in the 4 empty spaces. The first space is for the first player marker. Then you'll take the deck of room cards, shuffle these again, place them on the left hand space, and this time draw out 5 cards and place them face up. Next to the board, you'll place out the decor tokens. And now you're ready to play. The youngest player at the table will take the first player marker and they will be the first player for the game. In a 2 or 3 player game, there's a special rule. The first player will always remove one of the columns of cards, apart from the very first column because there's only one card in it. They will choose a column, let's say this column here, and then they'll place it in the discard. In a 4-player game, you do not do this rule. So starting with the first player, that first player will choose a column, so let's say that they chose this column. The second player will then choose a column, the third player, and then the fourth player. And let's say that they chose this column here. They would then take the first player marker, which means on the next round, they will be the first player. So with our 2 cards, you need to then add them to your house. Well, this resource card we'll talk about later, how we add it to our house, but we'll talk about the room cards. So this bathroom here will go to this house, and we can put it into any empty space. Within reason. Think about gravity. If I wanted to put my bathroom up here on the 2nd floor, I couldn't because there's nothing underneath it to support it, so it would fall to here. Again, if I wanted to put my bathroom here, there's nothing to support it, so it would fall to here. But then again, that won't work due to the fact that only certain cards can go into your basement. These are garages and wine cellars and workshops and laundry rooms. These are slightly different. As you can see, they are dark green. So let's say we put our bathroom here, for example. Once a room is placed, it cannot be moved. A bathroom carries a 1 point, and it's a unique 1 card room. I cannot now put another bathroom adjacent that. It would be illegal, but I could put it above it like this on the second floor, and I would get the point marked on it at the end of the game, in this case 1 point. It could also go on the same floor, but it would need to be at least 1 space away from that room. But some rooms have multiple points if you connect multiple rooms together. For instance, this living room. On its own, this 1 card will give you 1 point. But if there are 2 of these living room cards together, it'll give you 4 points. And if there's 3, you get 9 points. So, if during the course of the game, I could do this. Different rooms will give you different points depending on how many cards there are in the set and how many you put together. As well as these basement cards which go in the lower ground floor here, there are some unique cards which have a little bit of text on the bottom, and they give you some unique advantages of getting extra points. So like with this dressing room, it is worth 3 points if it's placed next to a bedroom. If at any time during the game you draw a card and it doesn't fit anywhere in your house because it's not allowed, it's like this bathroom is not allowed to go next to another bathroom, and this bathroom cannot go into this lower garage area, you will have to flip this card over and treat it as an empty room, and you can either place it there or there. And unfortunately it won't score you any points. With the resource cards, there are 4 different types. Each one has their own separate rules. Let's start with the helpers. These helpers here, they will help out at the end of the game with end of game scoring. So for example, this roofer here, at the end of the game, before you look at your roof cards, you can take a roof card from the discard pile. Or this helper here, at the end of the game, before scoring, you may switch 1 room card on your house for another room card from the discard pile. These tools over here have special powers as well. During the game, you'll place these next to your house and then you use them whenever you wish to. So like in this case, the concrete mixer, before you take 2 cards, discard this card and switch 2 room cards on the game board, which is a useful power to swap cards and get the cards that you want. You have a jackhammer here. Before the first player's turn, discard this card and take 1 room card from the game board and then skip your turn this round so you can be nasty to other players. With the decor cards, you simply take the decor token that matches the card, so for instance this tree house and the treehouse token, and then you add it into the room or next to the house wherever it says on the card, and then you discard this card. This will give you points at the end of the game. So for the treehouse, you take the tile, you place it face down next to the board. Whereas this ice cream mixer, you need to add it to a kitchen, so you have to make sure that you do have a kitchen in your house, otherwise you cannot add the ice cream and get the points at the end of your turn. Again, when you add decor to your house and it goes into the room, it then blocks you from adding on any more kitchen to your kitchen, for example. So I cannot put a kitchen next to another kitchen. This kitchen is finished, and then I'd have to start another kitchen somewhere else. And then there are the roof cards. These come in 4 different colors, as you can see, and some of them have bonus points marked on them as well. They have their own rule. Whenever you take a roof card as a resource card, you will have to place it face down in this space here. Now you have to use your memory because you're not allowed to look at these cards throughout the rest of the game. And every time you add a roof tile to this pile, you just make a mental note of what color you've got, because at the end of the game, if you manage to have 4 of the same color, that's going to give you maximum points. Any cards left on the board are removed to a discard, and then you refill the board. When adding cards to the game board, you will take the top card and add it to the left side column and then work your way to the right. And then you start the next round, again starting with the first player. The 12th round will be the last round, and that will be when there are no more cards to add to the game board. Everybody's house should be complete with no empty spaces for room cards to go on. And then we will move into final scoring. Before we do so though, if you have any tools, you can discard these if you haven't used them, and if you have any helpers, use them now to help boost your score. We will then score in 4 different categories. We will score the rooms. So we will start by simply adding up the points marked on the card. So this bathroom is 1 point. We have these 2 playrooms together, which means that that's 6 points. We have this bedroom, which is a total of 1 point. And we have this dresser, which is not 1 point, but 3 points because it's attached to this bedroom, etc., etc. Obviously, this empty room scores nothing. We then move on to the decor. This is a simple case of just turning over your decor tokens and adding up all the points marked on those tiles. Then we go to functionality. Functionality works in 2 different ways. Number 1, you will get 3 points if you have a bathroom on each of the floors of your house. So in this case, we will get an additional 3 points. Also, we get 3 points if we have a bathroom, a kitchen, and a bedroom in the house. And again, we have a bedroom, a kitchen, and obviously 2 bathrooms. So we get another 3 points. So that would be 6 points. Then finally, we score for the roof. This is where we turn over all our roof cards and we see what sets we've got. We have more than 4 roof cards, which means that we get 3 points, and then we get 5 extra points if all the roof cards are the same color, and any additional bonus points if there are any additional bonus points marked on the roof. The player with the most points at the end of the game, once you've totaled it all up, is the winner. So, Dream Home is a board game that every young designer, whether it be for houses or board games, should take a look at. So while we're talking about designing houses and games, let's talk about the mechanics and how they've been designed. The first mechanic is the drafting. You're drawing 2 cards or 1 card and the starting token and arranging them on your tableau. Now, drafting is a very simple mechanic and it's becoming very popular. And it's so simple that young children can understand it and even older adults can understand this game. Non-gamers, people that are not used to playing board games, can easily pick this mechanic up. And then we get to the puzzle part, the tableau, the house. You're arranging the rules. Now this is the heart of the game. This is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time thinking and enjoying the whole look and layout of your house. Now these rules for placing these cards on your house are pretty real-worldy rules. Gravity, you have to build from the bottom up. And there are those little rules of rooms can't be next to other rooms due to the fact that they have a limit, a space limit, so to say. But this puzzle element is the fun part of the game. You're trying to maximize your score and give yourself the most points by putting these cards in the right place. Now the other part of the design is the luck factor. Now, the luck factor works in 2 ways. The luck factor works in the way that the cards are drawn and what order they come out. And hopefully they're the ones that you are going to need or you've kind of pre-visualized are going to appear, and then you can put them in the right space to give you brilliant maximum super points. So there's that luck factor, which is kind of just not kind of normal for decks of cards. And then you have the luck factor and the backstabbery of what the other players are going to take. Now, this is again a kind of nice twist to make the game interesting, because backstabbery is always fun. Is someone going to take the cards that you want just to spite you, or because they need them? And this will give you this kind of battle for the first player marker, obviously, to try and get the cards that you need to help you out. Now, whether or not it's mainly the room tiles that you're concentrating on or the roof tiles that you're concentrating on, doesn't matter, because then you've got those helpers that can help twist the game your way if you've been screwed over by another player. And the last little mechanic is memory. The roof tiles, you're collecting these and placing them face down, and you're trying to get a set collection of them so you can get maximum points again. And this is a nice kind of extra rule on top of everything else which is going on. So the drafting, the arranging, the special powers, the backstabbery, and then you've got this little memory element, which adds a bit of excitement at the end of the game when the end of game scoring works. The fact that you get bonus points for having a set collection of roof tiles, and also more than 4, because you're going to need 4 roof tiles to cover your roof, that adds a nice element of, you know, backward thinking, you're preparing and getting ready for. But also the home functionality, which is something which some people kind of forget from time to time, but is important because it does give a total of 6 points extra. Thinking about having a bathroom downstairs and upstairs, thinking about having a kitchen, a bathroom and a bedroom as an essential part of the house, which again is thematic and fits this game. It just adds a bit of excitement to the end of the game, as I said. And now I'm going to move on to the design of the actual game itself. Well, the card art is very, very delightful and wonderful and whimsical, and there's an immense amount of detail on each of these cards, and it is really a pleasure to look at the end of the game. Every card is different and unique. Even the roof tiles are slightly different. There's a little tweak here and there and everywhere. The way the player boards are designed as houses is really nice and interesting. It makes, you know, it's eye-popping candy. And then there's the artwork and design itself, which is super, super, super cute and adorable, and just makes this game, as I said, an eye-popper, something that people are going to look at after they've played it and go, wow, I'm going to take a picture of this. The cardboard quality is very good. The first player, chunky first player token is really cute and adorable. I don't know why I like that, and it's orange as well. The cards are very sturdy, good quality. I wish they were bigger so they could be, you know, you could see a bit more of the detail which is included on them. And then there's the box insert itself, which holds everything snugly. And as you can see, reflecting in the light, it looks like a house. And there's a lot of dead space. And as I said, I wish the game could have come with, you know, a bigger cards. I mean, that might have meant that the house card, these playmats would have been bigger, but it doesn't matter because there's enough space in there. They could have been double fold houses. And then the final technical part is the rule book, which is very well written, very spaciously laid out. There are lots of examples. Well, there's enough examples. I wouldn't say there was lots of examples, but there's enough examples to explain how the rules work. And it works very simply. You will read it once and understand how the game plays. If you have any questions, it's very simple to reference and find the rule that you're looking for, just to clarify it. And it is a very well-tuned rulebook. So from a technical point of view, this game is stellar. It's, for me, a 9 out of 10 of production quality, due to the fact that the quality of the production is excellent. The cardboard, the cards, the pieces, the production and the artwork, excellent. The box insert, big bonus for that. The reason it's deducted a point is, as I said, the cards could be bigger. They can be a bit finicky to slide off the board and then move around on your house. And again, to appreciate the art would have been nicer. As I said, there's a lot of dead space in the box due to the fact that there's small cards, but they've economized, obviously. Again, with this dead space, they could have put maybe some more cards in that you can take out of the game to create a bit more variety and replayability, because you're going to be playing with the same 2 decks of cards all the time, and so you're going to, after a while, start to know what these cards are. I mean, as I said, there's not much in this box apart from the 2 decks of cards and these big boards, and that's the game. So, is Dream Home my cup of tea? Well, I have to say, not really, no. It's a game that I wouldn't refuse playing. If my daughter says, "Let's play Dream Home," I'd say yes, no problems. But it's not a game that I actively look out for and actively want to play. Even though it's pretty and it's great simplicity and mechanisms, and it's pretty, it's nice, it's cute, it's adorable. But it's not something which interests me. There's not enough replayability in it. Once you've got your system of how you're going to play the game, you play it the same over and over again. And that for me just makes the game, you know, like playing solitaire. You know, you're just doing the same thing and hoping that the cards come out the right way. Of course, there's this backstabbery which takes place when you're playing with other players, where they're taking cards away from you, or in particular when you're playing a 2 or 3 player game and the first player has to remove a row, and they could be nasty to you. They could see that you need a third living room and go, no, you're not having that. And then they take the other living room, and then you're left with a load of what you would probably deem rubbish. But that backstabbery and that player interaction is very limited. Again, you're concentrating on your house, and there are always ways around everything. There are the helpers, there are the tools. They will help you change and gain back those possibilities of, you know, that card that slipped through your fingers, which someone else took. You might be able to draw them back from the discard pile. Or that room you had to put there, but you could have been, that you can swap them over. So there is always a way. It's very friendly family. As I said, there's not enough replayability for me to want to keep playing it. On a side note, one of the things that scared me when I got this game, I don't know if you can see, but there's no designer name on it. And that got me worrying. Maybe this is like a Hasbro game or an MB game. Showing my age now. But you know what? I hope that this does appear next to those Hasbro games in Toys R Us and all those other game stores, because it is a great family game. It's a nice way to edge families into playing something different from Scrabble, Monopoly, Connect 4, Dr. Marble, I don't know what it's called. Oh, Dr. The one where you go, ouch, where he buzzes his nose. Forget it. It's Dr. Marble here. But yeah, I hope that it does do as well, and then start working its way into stores at a very basic level for young families and young children, because it would make a great present for children. No problems. They have fun arranging the house how they want. In fact, that's the core of the game, is the arrangement of the house, and that's where you get the most pleasure, by having a look at your house at the end and go, oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, I like this little Cthulhu in the bathroom. Oh, that's good. But anyhow, yeah, but it's relatively simple and it's relatively light. So there you have it. That's Dream Home, a game which is technically really, really good. Great production and a great family light style game, but not really my cup of tea. Right, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. If you think this is worth someone else looking at, share it with them. And if you want to subscribe. Don't forget you can help out on my Patreon to help produce these videos. Go to Patreon, look for Board Games Everybody Should, or you can always go to just my website, which is dull and boring, and check out what I'm doing. BoardGamesEverybodyShould.com. So remember, you don't have to own every single board game out there. You just need to own a few good ones. And hopefully I've pointed you in the direction whether this is a good one for you or not. So I say ciao for now, and remember to play nice with each other, please. Just sitting at the table next to Felicia.